6:38, morning to you. So we have a look at the newspapers for you today and start with the Telegraph. Ms Costello.
Yes, it leads with travellers being told to delay post-Christmas journeys after Storm Gerrit left thousands stranded across the country.
Yeah, but the trouble is, most people have probably gone back by now.
A lot of people don't have a choice, do they?
No,
to get on the road
to
get back to work, exactly.
The Mail focuses on Jeremy Hunt and his plan to cut inheritance tax. Now, the Mail saying cut it in half. Yesterday, the people were sort of saying they're going to get rid of it altogether.
Scrap it, yeah.
So it's a bit of a... That's a bit disappointing, really, for people who are hoping for a total cut.
The Mirror says Rishi helps the rich get richer as the PM is expected to scrap inheritance tax. So it's a bit confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, to be honest. And it's... Well, anyway, you'll have to let us know what you think about that one. The Eye says HS2... right, collects almost £9 million a year from renting out hundreds of homes people were forced to sell along the now cancelled line. Well, I don't know quite what the point... I don't know what point they're trying to make with that.
I think there are homeowners that feel as though they should never have been asked to sell their homes because they're now making millions out of rent, I think.
Well, yeah, but blooming heck. Recoup the amount of money they need to recoup on the project.
Well, yeah. Labour will promise a big expansion of childcare. That's on the front of the Times. OK, let's go through some of those headlines with the one and only showbiz reporter, Stephanie Tetching, and political commentator Alex Armstrong. Good to see you both this morning. Alex, let's have a look at the... I mean, the Mail saying inheritance tax could be halved, the Mirror claiming it could be scrapped altogether. I mean, what do we make of all of this?
Yeah, it's not quite clear yet, and I think that's probably because Number 10 isn't quite clear about what they're going to do with this policy. What they'll tend to do is put this story out and see how people like us react to it, how the public feel about it, and decide which gear to shift into. But you know what? I don't really know if this is going to be the big vote-winning policy they think it is. I mean, a lot of people don't even pay this tax. I don't know.
But it's weird, though, isn't it? Because although it doesn't affect, in a way, it doesn't affect that many people. It is seen as a pernicious tax. Because it's tax upon tax upon tax.
It is. It's
so people don't like it, even if they don't pay it.
I couldn't agree more with people who don't like it. I mean, it's called the death tax for a reason. It's a pretty disgraceful tax to put on people after being taxed for basically breathing at this point. I mean, honestly, but I think if the Tories want a vote winner, cut income tax for working people. This is really where the big hitting stuff is going to make a difference to people who are suffering at the moment, not waiting for their parents to die, but really people who want to be hard-working people. Let's get productivity up, you know. Yeah, well, look, we'll see. This is all part of the government's plan to sort of get themselves into election year next year. You know, a big year for the Tories, seeing whether they can hold on to any seats coming up to this March budget, which has been brought forward. So it's a slightly early budget.
What do you make of that? Because we now have that date, the 6th of March. Do you think, to you, does that indicate a spring election?
No. I don't think so, but I think they want to give themselves space to have a spring election if it goes really well. I mean, I suspect Jeremy Hunt's going to have to do a lot more than that if they're going to go see big jumps in the polls to catch up 20 points to Keir Starmer by then.
What do you think about it?
Well, I just think time's running out for the Tories now, and I think they're just going to keep dangling the carrot in front of voters to try, you know, get their attention in any way they can. And with the inheritance tax, that's going to appeal to one set of people, income tax another set of people. So they really need to kind of cross all their T's in that sense to try appeal to voters. But is it a little too late? I think, you know, with this government, it's been a bit of a sham with them over the past few years. So now trying to turn things around in a matter of a few months ahead of the elections, I think voters may have already made up their mind.
I mean, that's what the Labour Party is saying, aren't they? They're saying you've had your chance, you've had 13 years, and it's too little too late now. But do you think the next election will be one on the economy, or do you think it will be something else?
I think it'll be a mixture of the economy and it'll be about immigration as well. I think those are the two big things which are really going to get peak voters' interest.
Which should be... that should work against the Labour Party, historically. It depends whether they can... I mean, the trouble is they're doing better on the... Most people think, at least, that they're doing better on the economy.
It's what is... I think both of these parties just have a new outlook now. You know, a lot of people saying Labour's no longer a traditional Workers' Party anymore, and the Conservatives have changed their tune as well. So that's why I think it's going to be quite interesting to see the results when they do come through.
It's Rishi Sunak's favourite phrase, judge me on my actions, not my words. I mean, I think that's exactly what people will do next year, right? And I think those actions are bad economy, no movement really on immigration.
Well, Sharon's been in touch. Morning, Sharon. She says, the last time Labour were in power, they broke the country and even sold off all the gold reserves. Couldn't trust them with the economy or anything else, to be honest. And that's a sort of a traditional view, if you like. I wonder if that is across the country, Sharon, changing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, look, only time will tell.
Yeah.
With that one.
Very interesting, isn't it? Stephanie, let's have a look at a travel chaos, shall we? Storm Garrett's been tough out there for people.
It's to be expected this time of year, to be honest, and we'll probably be sitting here talking about the same thing next year, but obviously...
Probably. We'll just repeat this show, Stephanie.
Yeah.
But clearly Mother Nature's having its way with Storm Garrett, and it is causing a lot of devastation on the roads, especially in Scotland, where I've seen some images of, like, snow-logged roads, car drivers not being able to go anywhere, but it is very much a triple threat of engineering works, staff shortages, and this storm, which is, a lot of travel people are telling people do not travel this week, delay.
Lots of people don't have a choice, do they, Stephanie?
I know, but I think, we're lucky now we do have this work climate where people can work from home. And people, I think people are quite smart. They know during this week, take it off, because nothing's really going on. But for those poor workers who do need to get into work, they are a bit stuck at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I ordered a takeaway yesterday. I wasn't going out in that wind. That was my excuse. That's my top tip. You don't need to go out, don't bother.
No, do you know what, though? I always think it's a bit... Someone emailed in about this a couple of weeks ago. It's... So we're saying, do not go out if you don't have to, says the people who've travelled in the middle of the night to get to the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We're absolutely and totally hypocritical.
But it's quite sad that there's never preparation for this, and that's why people are saying we'll be talking about this next year, because it's always this week where there's just a lack of transportation, where there are workers who still need it.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand why they're never prepared for or thought about.
I'll tell you what, though, the bad weather has meant 0 small boat crossings.
Yeah, I think that's the story. I think that's kind of what's going on.
I have to say, when we were reading it earlier on from the front page sequence, you just sort of think, oh, no crossings for 10 days.
Yeah.
It seems like a miracle.
Christmas miracle.
Rishi Sunak needs some sort of weather machine to stop the boats, doesn't he, realistically, if this is what it's going to take. But I think this, it is the longest period in the festive season, Christmas season, we've had since, I think, 2019. Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, Christmas Day, all the way back to 2018, I beg your pardon. So, look, I think this just goes to show the scale of the problem almost. It's like we're celebrating just this very small break in these small boat crossings over a holiday
because
period.
of weather.
Because of weather. I mean, it's pretty bonkers that this is sort of headline news. But I think it does show the scale of the problem that the government face in dealing with this. I don't know whether any government ministers will be... confident enough to say this is due to their policies and the money they've been investing, but I'm sure some of them will try and take credit for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, but clearly that's not the situation.
Yeah. Stephanie, this one's caught my eye this morning, and Stephen and I are a very good example. Stephen likes his tea in the morning, don't you?
Well,
strong brew.
Well, you see, I have coffee at home.
He's got a very fancy machine.
Yeah.
He does cafe latte and things like that.
Yeah, so I have coffee first thing in the morning, but when I get to work, and I have a coffee when I get here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I always miss that.
But when I'm on air, I like to drink tea because it's more refreshing.
Oh.
Whereas I just have to have back-to-back black coffee.
Oh.
Are we talking English
roll.
breakfast tea, or is this like a nice flavoured tea?
Yeah.
This is just English breakfast, but I do like an Earl Grey.
Very fancy.
And sometimes you move into a fruity number.
If I'm really thirsty.
Do you like herbal teas? I love
occasionally.
herbal
He likes a lot of
teas.
fruit. But the reason we're talking about this, Steph, is because apparently our cult of coffee is ruining our tea.
It's your fault.
Tradition. It's
Your
my
fault.
fault.
According to James May, who was the former presenter on Top Gear, he was guest editing BBC Radio 4's Today programme, and he's saying this popularity of coffee is just getting rid of the tea culture, which us Brits are known for, and he's saying that, he feels like it's kind of getting rid of the quality nature of tea, with people always going to coffee. I don't drink coffee personally because I've got an addictive personality and I think I'll be addicted to it. But I think coffee serves a better purpose, I think, for people. It helps people get up in the mornings. It gives them more energy, where I can see why people are slowly falling out of love with tea.
No,
I don't think that's happening.
Never.
Alex, what do you think?
No, I love my cup of tea. I have to have a tea every day. I will have a coffee at some point because I do think it gives me that energy boost, but I love tea.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone in my family doesn't drink it. We all love it.
The kettle's permanently on.
Yeah.
But I think while British people are known for tea, we are actually becoming a nation of coffee drinkers as well. Because
coffee shops
there's so
everywhere.
many coffee shops now, so it's
Maybe it's more
ingrained.
social.
Yeah, it's ingrained a part of our culture. But James Mays actually says Britain is falling apart because we're not drinking enough tea, and I think that's a bit too far-fetched.
Bit too dramatic.
It is so expensive. I was going to get a cappuccino, £4.50.
What?
Where were you buying that
What's the
cappuccino?
coffee?
No.
God.
Have more sense. Don't
Cost a lot.
Don't cost
Costs
a lot.
a lot, yeah,
That's
you're not wrong.
ridiculous.
I just think tea needs a rebranding.
Yeah, I think you're
we
right
need
on
more
that,
tea
Steph.
shops, and we need to ingrain it as part of our everyday life.
Yeah, I think we just
more.
need to make it a bit more social.
Yeah.
Coffee, you go out for a coffee like we would after a show, but it's just because you want to chat, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have tea, you have that at home. You stick the kettle on, don't you?
It's more of a comfort
You
thing.
see, you can't beat a proper little tea shop.
No, you
And
can't.
then maybe treat yourself to a scone.
But there's not many of them, really.
Well, this is what
depends where you go.
want.
Depends where you go. Up north you'd get
Not in
more.
London.
Yeah. No, not in London.
London is like a walking, talking coffee hell.
Maybe James May needs to get out of London a bit more.
Maybe he does,
Go
yeah.
up north, James. Go to Beverley.
Or Betty's.
Oh, Betty's.
Betty's tea room.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
A few of them. Yeah, there are. Oh, I love that.
I love a tea room.
Yeah, maybe we need more of them in London. If anyone's thinking of investing, we're on to something with that.
Yeah. Now, Alex, I think we might have a clip of this. Apparently, a Tesla engineer has been attacked by a robot.
Yes. So Tesla's been building these humanoid robots, so they look human. You might have seen them online. And so this is part of his new sort of vision of the future. Everyone will have a robot. They'll man the building sites. They might even do your shopping for you. So obviously this is quite a new thing that's only been out for the last couple of years where they're building it. What looks like has happened is that these robots that they're building and training to do certain sort of activities, i.e. building sites, has got in the way with a human who's also helping with the training, and that's then sort of cut his arm, which is said is quite a lot of blood apparently from what the first-hand accounts are saying. Now, it's not like, iRobot. No one needs to worry.
It feels like that.
GBNEWS viewers,
it feels
do
like
not
the
worry.
rise of the cyborgs. It really does.
No, but it's not. So nobody at home panic, because it seems that this has been in sort of testing mode. Human got in the way, person got in the way, and therefore I think attack might be quite strong.
Attack's not the right word, is it? It's just an accident.
is probably more like it. Yeah. But it does sort of raise these questions as people start to feel, it's the fact that it's a human-looking robot that's worrying people, because people are seeing AI, and then you put AI into these robots, and you wonder, is it going to be a revolution, and we're all sort of the slaves to these robots? I think this sparks these really fascinating sci-fi horrors in our head, doesn't it?
I'm scared of it. I'm dead scared.
Scares me as well.
Don't be.
I really am. I'm just like, more humans need jobs.
Well,
why are we creating artificial intelligence to make, jobs redundant for the everyday working man?
But the idea is it'll make everything cheaper, and as humans, we will have to do less.
I
so a
know,
better
but
quality of life.
that means less jobs. It means people will become more lazy. It means we're giving more power to technology, and it's just, what is the limit here? I think that's what scares me. I just think the more we kind of invest in AI, the more it's going to be diminishing humankind. I really do think like that.
It's the speed of it that scares me. It's the speed of development, and I worry it's going to run away.
Do you know what worries me more than these robots? Is those headsets they want everyone to start wearing.
What, the VR
ones?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to see kids walking around in 10 years' time wearing them. I'm telling you, it's the new phone. And that for me is way scarier than a robot walking around, because they don't even see you there. They're just in their own little world, literally.
Yeah.
That for me is way scarier for humans than robots.
Yeah, I just don't know how realistic any of that VR stuff. I mean, I've not done it, but
I've seen some of it. It's pretty impressive. The Apple one is very impressive.
You should look into that. He's very techie.
I am very techie, but you've got to be. It's nice if you can dive into tech and enjoy it, and like, I'd love a robot in the house. Great, great. But see, you're quite right. You don't want it to take over humankind.
No, like we're already like losing human interaction due to like technology, social media, and I just feel
those tills.
Yeah.
Self-service tills. I hate them.
Oh no, see,
I was going to talk about them.
Too.
Yeah, I love human interaction.
No, I love
Me
those.
too,
It's just so
Steph.
much,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
all
so
for the
much
human.
quicker.
We're like kindred spirits.
I know.
We've
I just want to get in and out. Get me out of there.
Yeah, look, we've just got a minute, Stephanie, to talk about this. It's in the mail. Craggy Island. For those of you old enough.
Fed.
Oh, Father, what a series!
I love that series, and always at the beginning of the show, you see them like those kind of drone shots of Craggy Islands. Well, apparently now there's one up for sale in Ireland called Middle Calf Island, and it's got 64 acres of uninhibited solitude. I think I might have some pictures of it, but it sounds amazing.
So it's not actually sort of Craggy Island, but very similar.
Similar, yeah.
Oh, hello.
So all of that can be yours. People are predicting it will sell for about less than €1 million.
It's a bargain, really, for a whole island.
It is.
You can't even get a one-bedroom in London, for that.
No, not really. I wonder what you do with it, though, if you bought it.
Look at all that nature.
Oh, where is it? Off the south coast?
Yeah, off Ireland's south coast. It has a gorgeous private beach, abundant wildlife, and views across the wild Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. You see, now that would be a little bit of heaven. Take your tent and go camping.
You'll just be in peace.
Lovely place
from
for
city
tea
life, yeah.
Look, well, you wouldn't get many visitors.
Oh, you could start
By
your
helicopter.
own touristy.
I think it'd be great until you get days like today without a strong wind. I think, I don't know if I'd want to be on that little island.
Oh, I don't know. That could be amazing.
And the Irish Sea is,
That could be. It could be amazing like that. But no, Mrs. Doyle, you can buy it for Mrs. Doyle.
Oh.
And you'd be all right out there, wouldn't you? Go on, go on. There you go. Let's have a look at the weather.